Hi, Marian, how are you?
Good, Valentin, yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. Then let's go directly to the topic. Let's say we are good friends, and let's say we know both of us the teachings of Marius Ghidel, who's our mentor, in fact. And I want to make a kind of bridge between us, Canada and Romania, and to talk a little bit about what are your impressions about the teachings? What did you learn? How can you say probably some examples, or probably we can share each other some stories? And let's say that first we'll start with who's Marius Gidel, our good friend.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. I think it's very important to mention that Marius Ghidel, like his teachings, they're very simple, but very hard to apply to certain extent to few people because it's completely opposite from what we have been taught since childhood. So, but they're very effective. That's all I can say
Right,
from my personal experience. And he mentions that there's no technique. So his teachings are completely opposite than from what other teachers are trying to infuse. It's basically there's no techniques to come to God because we're already one with God.
right,
This is the like it shows us the position where God is, that it's inside of us, and it gives us some tips and tricks how to get to God very quick and to feel Him.
right.
Um, from what I used to do before Him, I was basically in a continuous search for God, not knowing that He's inside of me and how to feel Him.
Right.
So it's more like His teachings are a way to feel God and to understand there's no more looking outside, that
Okay.
He's inside of us.
Right.
So other teachers, they have a technique to always look for Him outside and not inside. So it's a different positioning. I see it. It's actually opposite from what we've been taught. Everything that we're taught in life, we're taught that we always have to focus ourselves on the outside world and not on the inside. Not
Right.
knowing actually that the inside creates the exterior, the
Yes.
Maya world,
Really.
right?
Right.
Like you said, a lot of times you explain that also. And it's good for people to understand how to get to God very quick.
Yes. Right.
What's your
That,
opinion on this?
yeah.
Or
Yeah. I can say I'm totally agree with you. Then yes, we were taught like in school, like even in the childhood. Some of us Christian church, or doesn't matter the religion, but we were taught that yeah, God is outside us, and probably we were feeling at that time that probably is not like this exactly, but somehow we were following the teaching of others, and we were trusting them because they were adults and we were childs. And but doesn't matter. The thing is, right now we are in a kind of era where the people should understand that, and probably they will see that in a new world who's coming, then we'll need to know, and we need to feel inside ourselves that God is inside us, not outside. You're totally great how you're explaining. I appreciate your response to this, and thank you again for responding to my invitation. Uh, we can talk beginning. We can begin a little bit to go to, let's say, some of the books. For example, the first one, Marius Ghidel was writing he was writing about Shangri-La, the first book, which is probably the pioneer. the first one from the for the series of 9 books. And what's your opinion about Shangri-La?
I start reading the Shangri-La. It's a very good and it's very profound writing. It's very condensed book. It's interesting enough that Marius didn't study any spiritual booking, like he didn't get inspired from anywhere else. He was just connected when he wrote it, and we feel it in the book. When I used to read Shangri-La, I sleep very quickly because it's very condensed and it's very powerful. You know, it's a very powerful book. It's not
Yeah,
even a
you're
book.
reading.
It's more.
Yeah, you're probably You're probably
Go ahead.
reading a few sentences, and after going to sleep because the condensation, like how much can be the impact on you is like putting you to sleep. There are very strong phrases, very strong sentences.
Yeah, and what's
Spiritually speaking.
interesting is it's one like I used to read a lot of spiritual teachers before, but no other book gave me the same feeling like Shangri-La or The Secret of the Happiness or the books he wrote, and that tells me that the way the books are written, there are very powerful messages behind it that actually erase our programs, our beliefs. That's why they're so strong, and it puts us to sleep. Is because it does something inside. Actually, it dislocks or it reverts all the programming we had inside, and it's sort of like a cleaning.
Yeah, well, what do you mean? Sorry, Marian, to interrupt you. What do you mean by cleaning, or what kind of programming you're talking about?
Because we have a subconscious, right? That runs continuously with some certain beliefs that we have they've been infused in our subconscious since childhood.
Right.
And this cleaning meaning that it deprograms all our beliefs. That's how I felt when I read those books, and even the videos and everything together that we're doing together here, it does the same thing. It actually shows the programming that was done to us.
Right.
Now I don't know if it was done on the purposely, or it was God program us somehow like that because he's behind everything, right? To look for the opposite direction, to find him. So I think, in my perspective, it's somehow we are programmed like that. When we come, we know our moves, every step, what we're doing, to look for God, to have this adventure more interesting in life.
Right.
To like it has to have in a way to see that the outside world doesn't bring us any real happiness, that it's whatever.
Yeah, you're right. And I want to make a statement about this. I don't know, of course you were referring on that, but we need to know that the inside of us is creating the outside. And we need to say this to the people, that don't look outside. Nobody is guilty for what exactly you're experiencing. Everything is from inside you, and it's a creation about everything what's inside you. It's like a mirror to outside.
Yes, very powerful said. Yes, and when you know that inside us, it's actually the exterior is creating from inside, then you cannot blame the outside of whatever happens.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
right. Absolutely,
that's the difference.
You cannot blame the outside, right?
Yeah, it's a different view. It's a different perspective you have. That only at Marius I heard it. He's saying, when you don't blame the outside and you realize everything is done within us, then you cannot let your ego trying to change the outside world, because you will never be able to do it, because it's under the command of God. God, it creates the exterior all the time, So even if you try to do that with an ego, to try to change the outside world, it's impossible because it's always on the move. It's always changing, in a continuous change. That the only thing is to let it go and to see the outside world and not to try to interfere with it.
Then exactly to be more clear, my friend, then let's say that we are responsible for creating the reality.
Yes, yes, we're responsible because we're the creator itself.
Right.
We've been brought up to this fake idea that we're very small and we're very insignificant, right?
Right.
Yeah, that we have no power, that whatever happens.
Yeah,
Is because we don't.
this is exactly the image of the Matrix. Like you don't have power, you should obey, you should to go to ask for help. You are not having any kind of let's say don't be like the trust. How you can trust in yourself? You cannot trust in yourself. We need to lead you. You need to obey. You need to have an attitude that you are obeying. But the thing is, probably, let's say the matrix is a kind of part of God creation, but let's admit this, that inside the matrix we'll never be free.
Yeah, and it's just a projection. It's like a programming, like you said, it's a simulation, right?
It's a simulation,
so
right?
This matrix, it's actually, it's a simulation of programming, verbal programming and physiologically programming, to make us believe that we're stuck, that we don't have an exit, that we're very limited, that we have no power.
They want to tell you, yes, right. Sorry about this. That they want to tell you that the God is not inside you. You're not powerful. The God is outside you. If the God will be inside you, you will be powerful. But the people who are ruling the world, they don't want you to know that the God is inside you and you're very powerful. That piece of spark of soul who's inside you can be so powerful that you can change the world.
Yes, correct. And that belief doesn't make you feel God. This is what's happening. Right. That belief that was repeatedly so many millions of times, it makes you believe that that's the actual reality, the matrix.
Right.
But the real reality is outside of matrix.
Okay, right.
Because when you come out of matrix and you see that the dualistic world anymore, when you don't say something is good or bad, when you unite these two
opposites,
opposites that we've been brought up like that, to always split, right. To always how you say, to always not how you say it, to always say it's bad or good, to always
oh, okay, then to not split in bad and good,
yes. So the moment we split in bad and good, we go into the matrix.
Right.
When we go into the matrix.
Then sorry, my friend. Then Marian. Then Marius is saying, in fact, that I don't know. It's probably in the first in the Bible, like the old one. Then saying that the first let's say sin is splitting in good and bad. It's like the ultimate sin,
Yeah. It's actually a division, dividing.
This dividing in good and bad,
yeah. It's actually you're dividing God. That's what we're doing when we divide that. We're splitting God in two.
We are all one, and all one. God is all one, and the first sin in the, let's say, religious books is like simply dividing the God in good and bad.
Yeah, and putting God outside.
And outside,
positioning God outside. He's in the sky. He's there. He never says that it's inside of you, that you're God itself. Because this is very powerful. Because
it's very powerful. You're right, man. Yeah, you're totally
because
right.
If God is with you, you have all the trust. You don't need to worry about anything. Because You actually when you realize that God is inside of you, then you have no more worries about the future. This is the big thing, you know. It's like the past and the future disappears
Yeah,
because
the worries is coming from fear. Fear is
Mhm.
coming from anxiety. Then this
Yes,
is not existing. It's a kind of bluff of the mind,
yeah.
of the ego.
It's a big bluff, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
correctly. It's like poker game. Then the thing is, okay, then let's move, my friend, to the next question. And I want to know your opinion about. Let's make a little bit clear for the people who are listening us, who are seeing us. What's the core teaching of Marius Ghidel?
The core teaching is that God is in front of us every time in each person. Every character that God decides to put on this game, it's he's behind of each of them. So
Right,
basically, if somebody comes and blames our ego, he doesn't blame us as a divine creature. He's just showing what's inside of us. So if
right,
somebody comes to us, it's like a messenger showing how is our inside. So to work on it, to look
right.
inside of us, to see what is there to work on and to clean. You know, to understand it, to have a better understanding about life and what God wants us to do. So the main teachings of Marius is he's stating that our mission here on earth is just to pass this word, meaning to pass this matrix, to understand the matrix role of it, but to pass it, meaning that to be beyond the matrix, to go beyond
Yeah,
the
beyond.
matrix.
Yeah. Then being beyond the matrix means that you're living in your heart. You're living with the divine being, what you are. You are exactly a divine being. You are not
Yes.
you're not a pawn like in a matrix or in a chess table. You know, you need to know that you're more powerful than to be in a game.
Yes, and you can create your own game. This is the
Right,
difference. Because
right,
if you're the creator itself, you can decide which game to play.
right.
Because
Then
you're
today,
outside the scene, right? You're
yes,
outside the scene and you're seeing that the actors, they have their own role, but you don't identify with the ego as the actor.
exactly.
Yeah.
Then when you're on the stage, you're a kind of, let's say, in the matrix, you know, you are on the stage, you are playing a role, but you don't know that you can go out of the stage and you can be free.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Yeah,
just look at the actor. Basically, you're looking at God manifesting inside of you, but you're detached from the actual actions that it's happening. You're detached and you have no more emotions. Like
right,
basically, you take the role, you understand that it's done by God, and you're emotionless because you're not. You have no more expectation for something to be done in a certain way.
right.
So when you have no more expectations and you let the life flow, then it's an interesting position because it's I
Then
think
when
what
you're going with the flow, like go with the flow, it's like being in a kind of acceptance and let the life to happen.
yes, acceptance. It's a big word. Marius
Yes,
always repeats, just
right,
accept everything the way it comes. The more we accept, the more we love actually, because we don't we don't oppose of whatever God wants to do. So we're not opposing God.
right.
So I think acceptance, yes, it's one of the keys
And
to
what
conquer
about,
this world,
okay, then
basically.
he's talking very not I can say that I can hear him talking all the times about his teaching, in his teachings and in the books. He's always talking about submitting, like simply to uh, show to everybody that you are a kind of humble person and you don't need to push, you don't need to feel resistance, you simply need to be like simply the verb to be, and to let everything flow, and to let life happening, but as well being humble, and being in a kind of obeying the what's the reality is, obeying what was the in fact the thing that we are divine beings, means that we are simply in the core of God, and we know we are God. God is inside us. It's a big world there, like a big universe inside of us, and he is talking about what this kind of surrendering to the let's say, to give the reins to the God, not to feel that we are on control or something. What can you elaborate on this?
What's very interesting about his teachings is, if you want to feel God, you have to act like God. We have to be very similar in the actions. He's emphasizing a lot about the actions, because he's saying no techniques will bring you to God. It's only your actions. So we see that in our life, that God always live himself outside for us. He always, how you say, surrender to ourselves, basically,
Yes,
all the time. He always let go of himself. He always accepts whatever we do. He always
wherever is coming.
is like a good yeah, like a good father, he's never, he doesn't punish. He's not he always is very acceptance, like his acceptance level, it's unlimited. So in our life we have to understand that even though we are programmed, God sees that we have the willingness to change ourselves,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
gives us a lot of support. It gives us a lot of backup.
Right. A lot of
He
backups.
gives
Yeah.
us backup, yeah, because he knows all our intentions inside. He knows everything, our thoughts, everything. They are made by him, so he knows every single action we're planned to do,
Right.
right?
Right.
So a lot of times we're brought up in a mentality that we have to hide, to to lie, that nobody sees it. But actually God sees everything. He sees all the actions that we have, everything
Right.
behind our intentions. So with Marius, it's very easy. It's very easy to apply, because he's saying just do these actions like God action, and you'll feel God by resonance. You're gonna invite him in your life, and you're gonna feel him, because
Right.
you're doing the same actions like him. Like, so
Exactly.
this is a very powerful thing,
Yes. Then,
because
oh,
if God sees that you have the intention, just the intention to be like him, he will appear very quickly, because by resonance you'll invite him in your home.
okay. Then, okay. Let's talk a little bit about then we talk about surrendering, about acceptance. Let's talk a little bit about downsizing or restraint. How we can do this? Like, why we need to do the restraint? It's about the the vital power, or it's about the uh, um sensitive energy who's coming in that place who's empty.
Yeah, restraining from all the world, basically. Restraining from the pleasures, restraining from more clothing, restraining for a bigger house that you don't need, restraining from everything that is not needed, not to also enjoying life in the same time, not to be like isolate yourself from life or from the matrix, but in the same time to realize that everything that we do in excess, that we don't, it's not needed, it takes a lot of our life. It takes energy. It takes a
Yeah,
lot of
it takes
energy,
energy. Yeah.
because yeah, that's an ego wanted more than what God gives. So when
Yes,
when
like
we have
ego
access,
is saying
and
all the time, yeah, sorry, my friend. Then the ego is saying all the
sorry.
time, let's have more, let's have another one. I will be complete after, I will be happy. And after you gain that BMW or something, or Mercedes, okay, why I'm not happy? Because I'm not enough. I need another one. Let's talk with my wife to buy another BMW. And what the heck is this? It's like a crazy world
It's running in a circle,
running in
Valentin.
circles. Yeah.
running in a circle and not finding God, because it's the ego always wants to run outside. He always wants to find more pleasures, and you realize when you have a bigger car, that happiness lasts for a few days, and after it becomes like a normal car. It becomes like a regular car. It doesn't bring you any more sparkle inside. It's just it came and it went. So that shows you that everything in the outside world, in the matrix, it's passive. It passes. It's not solid. It doesn't stay with you, you know.
Right.
And the ego has the tendency to always say, run, 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 get a better car, get a better house, right? And
Right.
even if you do those things, you get more misery. You become more miserable because you want more and more and more, and you consume divine power,
Yeah,
divine
it's
energy,
yes, it's about
wasting on something that is not, it's
yeah.
temporary. It's not
And
even,
then
yeah.
matter effect is consuming energy. Matter effect is making you weak. You don't know that, but the matter is simply pulling the life from you. It's like
Yes.
taking every drop of blood and sucking you out. Like you are simply kind of being, like a divine being, and you don't understand that, and you're looking at the outside world to complete you. What? To take another car, to take another house, or wherever, then you can be you don't need to, you need to have a life, or wherever you have a family. And by the way, that we were touching this subject, what's exactly his idea about the cell of the society, which is family, and what's exactly the um, what exactly he can how he's explaining about what the mother, father, and children do, how they can simply relate to each other.
You want to talk about the role of the woman and the man?
Yes, like the family, like a cell, like a beautiful cell who's simply okay. In these days,
Yeah,
probably it's different a little bit, but let's talk
yeah,
about the history when a family was like a woman, a man, a woman, and children, and it was a kind of relation between them, a very strong bond.
yeah. It's actually our yeah. It's like the family. It's the center of God loves family a lot because He
Right,
knows in the family all the energies they flow, and everybody's in a good equilibrium, and that's why he created man and woman, right, to be together, to
right.
to compensate their energy, to be like a team, to work together. But today we can see in the society, we can see in our reality that the poles are shifted, so they are completely opposite, meaning that the woman has much more male energy, masculine
Yes,
energy than what she used to have. And we can see also that the man becomes more feminine, so getting the roles reversed. So meaning that the man is doing a lot of work that he was not supposed to, right, like feminine work, and woman should start doing a lot of things that the man should do, that she's not supposed to, but she's doing it. They're like so yeah, it's we come to a point, to an extreme, I think, right now, which is normal. I find that God wanted that, to see to what extent we can go.
right,
Because Valentin, I don't know if you remember in your life, we learn from the extremes. To find a
right.
middle way, we have to go to the last extent to see, we come to this point, and after we're going to go back, you know.
Yeah, we're
So
going
what
out
we're
of the
living right now.
right. We are
Go ahead.
going out of the comfort zone, and
Mhm.
we are experiencing the extreme, like to simply make the evolution, because it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're in comfort zone, it's nothing happening.
Yes, yes. So God wants us to come out from the comfort zone. He's doing these things very fast to see to what level we can go. So to actually, why is doing that? To put ourselves the right questions, to ask where is God into this, you know, because when you see a word that has is this chaos, right? You come to a point where you ask yourself, what the hell I'm doing in this world?
Yeah.
What's my purpose, you know? So
Right.
the more contrast you see outside, when this question hits you, when the moment that the God decides that you're open to understand his message, then your search for God is very strong, is very powerful in that moment.
Exactly.
That's the moment of awakening, right? What they
Yes.
say, the moment of awakening. So that's the moment where you start the search for God. For me, you know, it's very interesting because you have to go through matrix, through all the experiences, so-called bad, that the religion call it bad and the society calls it bad, but God doesn't have any sort of thing good or bad. He just lives the experience that he decided to take on this earth, on this planet, right?
Right. Yeah,
So
the God is deciding that everything is good. There is only one energy. There is not good or evil or good or bad or good things, bad things. Uh, there is one energy, and the people should know how to use this energy. Then in the family, then we are talking about family. Then what exactly the lady of the house, like the wife, the woman should what exactly should do, like how she should relate to her husband, who's in fact the god of the house, like he's like the representative of God in that family.
woman should be very submissive. Should be very listening to him. Should be very careful, very um,
To obey to the
to
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 obey
to
to,
to
to
obey
obey to
the man,
the
all the
things
man.
he's asking.
Yeah, everything is asking to be supportive. That's another thing. To
Supportive,
be
yeah.
thankful for yeah, to be always thankful for him. Because man has 80% energy, divine energy, and 20% telluric energy, right?
Right,
We can see that from the last videos that he
right.
mentioned. But the woman has 80% telluric energy because she has to give birth, right? And
Yeah,
20% divine energy.
she's having double energy. Like in fact, she's having this powerful energy from the matter to give birth to kids.
Yes, and God gives her this energy so she can manifest love.
Right.
It's just a way that we understand love, because love is a
then
very
then the
general word.
then the lady of the house should simply empower the man, like the god of the house, and she simply make a kind of empowerment and to love him, like him to be very powerful when he's going outside to simply fight or to
to
simply work for
to
his
conquer the
family.
world.
Yes.
Yes, to conquer the world and to be very active and to get a lot of abundance. Man can do that if he has the support of a woman behind him, right? Because
Right.
every strong man has a strong woman, but not strong as masculinity. We're talking about strong in love, meaning to be very
Yes.
obedient, very listening to him, very like to be actually a co-pilot, right? She has to
Right.
act like a co-pilot.
Right.
The man is the pilot. He has to be the one that does all the moves, and she's just there just to be as a help for him.
Yes, like supportive, and
You know,
then she needs to,
supportive.
yes, she needs to as well to be a kind of in a kind of relation with her husband, like being humble and to be nice and providing love, and he
Understanding, understanding,
understanding, and he will
right?
be in a kind of bliss.
Mhm.
Why? Because he can feel that he can fly for his family.
Not
Yes,
only that, she will feel God the first time.
right.
She will feel the presence of God, because when she's humble, when she's listening, when she's doing that, she's doing actually what the God does.
Yes,
She's
exactly.
resembling His love.
But my
So
dear friend, my friend and Marian, that what exactly? How can in this crazy world, how can a woman be like this? How she can relate like this on this kind of teachings? Like, it's not exactly something like she will simply say, "Oh, this is crazy. I cannot do that," because she was programmed from the family and from the society, from school, from church, that she was
She
programmed to be
should, she
strong.
should, she should, she should. It's very easy, my friend. It's very easy. She should not listen to anybody except her husband. It's
Exactly.
so easy.
So
You
easy.
know,
Yeah.
she should always relate to the man. She's gonna look at the man, and the way he acts, it's actually what it's inside of her. If the man is very strong and powerful and very lovely with her, and he's very attentive, and he's always joyful and in a good mood, that shows you
Right.
that she has a lot of love. You know
Right.
that she's loving him
Yeah.
truly. So
Exactly.
she has to look at him as a mirror of herself.
Okay.
Never reverse. Okay, because man comes with love in the family all the time. He doesn't come to destroy the family. He comes to unite the family. So man,
Okay.
he has embodied in his blood. He has this a willingness to do anything for the family. You know, he will go in the outside world through a lot of work just to make sure that the family is happy, including the wife, including the
Yes.
kids. You know, so we have this, but the woman, she should know that when she's very submissive, when she's obeying the husband, that's her biggest power that she has. That's her strong. This is her power actually. It's in that those actions, because we have to define very clearly what love means. We're not taught what love means.
Okay.
We're taught what love as a business act. You do something and I do something in reverse. That's not
Yeah.
love. That's a
Like a
business
like a
transaction.
like a business transactions. Yeah.
Yeah, like a deal. You know, you make a deal, and God sees that. When God sees you making a deal, that's not called love, because God, if you see the way he does his actions, he doesn't ask us nothing in return. He always leaves
Yeah.
himself for
Yeah.
us
It's like
to
opposites.
experiment.
Yeah, it's like opposites. You
Opposite.
you cannot call love or deal. That's opposite. It's only love
Yes.
or it's a deal.
Yes. Yes. So when you make a deal, you're in the matrix.
Yes, exactly. Like business. And it cannot be a business
Business.
because the business is it's exactly very cold and very
Yes.
like you need to be very, let's say, in the mind and to make calculations. And
Yes.
let's talk about this topic about how we can serve people, like to drop our mind, to mind our mind, our ego, to not be so strong. If we are serving people, what do you think? Our mind, our ego will drop?
Yeah, if we serve people and we don't think about ourselves and we leave ourselves to the last, then the ego drops, because we're in the surrender, we're in the serving, and in that moment we see them happy, and that happiness comes back to us,
Right.
and that happiness gives us a lot of energy, and it restrains us from the food, from the attachments, because we see that it's a happiness that it's not from this world. You know, it's
Exactly.
a different happiness than having a bigger car. It's a different sensation. It's a different feeling inside. You feel like you're meant, and you're sent to this earth just for that, to feel that happiness of others. And when you understand that profoundly, and you do it repeatedly, you know, as much as you can, because you cannot push yourself to do more than what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, you
Then
have you have an amount of energy, but that amount of energy is receiving a backup when we're serving others.
yes. So
Then
serving others is I think it's one of the key to feel God. Like leaving yourself out of the question, and if somebody asks you, can you do something for me, to right away to jump into the venture to do it, and not to
right.
let the mind, the ego, to block you, because the ego says, no, if you do this, what's going to happen? He's going to try to project. He's going to try to project the future or the past. He's going to try to say, maybe it's not the right moment to sabotage you, not to do the divine action that you're supposed to do.
What can you say, my friend, about the people who are in front of you? You said that our inside is creating the outside and creating the reality. The people who are coming in front of us, or they are simply confronting us. What they are? They are like us. They are God, or what exactly they are? They are coming to simply teach us something. They are mirrors. What they are?
It's God itself. It's God itself. It's not nothing. I think we have to always position ourselves. Position number two, meaning that we're always going to go from down to up to them. We're always listening to them. We always see what they need. We have to be very listening to their needs.
Yes, very profound what you said.
And to be attentive to them, to let them talk, to be good listeners, because God too listens everything we have in our hearts. He knows, So we have to use also, like, we have to start incorporating more the listening than talking,
Right.
to do a bit the reverse of what the society tells us: be in the front, be the best, be this, be that, the competitive way that we're brought up. Because from the competition it comes destruction. It doesn't construct anything.
Right.
But when you're cooperating with somebody, you're constructing something that is solid, because God, it's himself does that.
We are all one. This is oneness. We are all one.
Yeah.
We don't need to compete with each other.
Yes, and when you compete, you isolate yourself from others, meaning
Exactly.
letting your ego think that you're better in a certain way. So you're
Exactly.
dividing again. We come into the division. We're dividing from God in that moment. When you think that you're better than somebody, automatically you go into the matrix, and the sufferance will come. Sufferance, it's an antidote, right, from God.
Right.
What Marius tells us, that it's a way of stopping yourself to lose energy. It's a way of making us look inward inside of us.
Then suffering. I always said that, and I heard this. And the suffering is the best teacher we can have. And sometimes we need to suffer to understand the contrast in this world.
Yes. To the
Exactly.
moment that you realize that it's not needed anymore. You come to a point where you know when you're going to suffer and when you don't. Because when you don't create any more karma, right? When you have a lot of programs that they come out and they get cleaned, you come to a state of neutrality where you see that the world is perfect the way it is, and then from that point you don't create any more new programs, new programmation for the future. And
deleting. Yes, sorry. Then deleting
deleting the past.
Yeah, deleting these programs means that we need to serve people, and we need to obey, like to make acceptance, and to obey what's coming in front of us. And this means that we have the second place, but in fact, what we are doing, we are not raising a bigger enemy in front of us. Why? Because we are simply humble and we are going in acceptance.
Yeah, and accepting means that you're in the neutral position. You don't want nothing plus or minus. You don't want a certain way. You don't want something against God's willingness.
Then my friend, yes, my friend, then when somebody is challenging you, what you should do? Like what you can relate with him?
If he challenges you, he's telling you something about your inside world, environment.
What exactly?
So meaning is going to show you something that it's inside of you that you don't see yourself.
Okay.
So you have to let go. You have to let him win all the time. Meaning losing in the world, it's actually the most beneficial, because you're losing your ego.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
you're
Yeah.
not losing anything material, or like you're not losing a divine soul, or you're not losing your soul. You're losing actually your ego, because the
Then
moment you
losing your ego, it's in fact what exactly it's like what's happening the best to you, like losing ego. What the
yeah,
heck? This will be like a beautiful world without egos.
yes, ego, it has his own role, because without ego we cannot know God,
Yeah, it's
because you
like a
see God,
yeah,
it's a
it's like
tool,
a
right?
tool. We can make calculations. We can use
Yeah.
the like repair a car. We can use our
Mhm.
mind. This is ego. It's like doing like a tool, like keeping the tool in the box. But after we are finishing work, we don't need to keep the tool with us anymore.
Correct, correct, because we're using this tool with the humans,
Exactly.
you know, with other human beings, with other, so with God we're using that. He gave us just a tool to understand life, but this tool is used to a certain extent, to few things in the world. But
Exactly.
we use this tool in relationships, which is not normal. In relationship it should be only love. It should be only like divine actions. Even though we
Okay.
use our ego because it's still there, it's necessary. We come to a certain point where we see that uh, which actions actually bring us closer to God, you know,
Then
and to feel God.
then if the ego is the mind can drop in the heart.
It's actually the mind itself, right? It's saying that in our language, right, in Romanian, it says minte. Minte means somebody that lies to you.
Yeah,
So
it's
God
lies
itself
lying to
put
you. Yeah.
yeah, it puts the definitions to look at our mind, to see that it always lies. Everything that the mind says, it's a lie. It
Yeah.
doesn't come from the heart.
Why the mind is lying? Because it's not exactly it's only a kind of bunch of thoughts. And those
Yes.
thoughts, in fact, are not existing because it's nothing what we can show in the body. Okay, this is the mind. Okay, let's show to everybody anatomically. Like in anatomy. Where is the mind? What can you say about mind? Where is located? Nobody will say. Will probably will show to the brain, but the brain no is a biological computer. It's not exactly the mind.
Yes, the mind is just an illusion.
An
It's
illusion. Yeah.
actually all the programs that makes us believe, right, in a
Right.
certain way. Even
Exactly.
the word believe in something, it doesn't mean that you feel it.
Exactly.
It's just a projection about something, you know, because in religion tells us believe in God, but doesn't tell you that you're God itself. It's a completely different perspective of life. It's meaning like I believe something it's there, but I never touch it, you know, and I have to believe 100% that it's true. I cannot believe 100% unless I touch it and I feel it inside of me that's the reality. It has to be
Exactly.
realistic, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so it's
Okay.
a
I want to
mhm.
elaborate a little to develop a little bit this subject that let's say to everybody that Marius Ghidel is like our guide, our teacher, let's say. He is simply showing that these teachings are in fact, in all the 9 books, you can see and you can read that they're very powerful, that they're very strong, like the truth. The truth cannot be, you cannot prove the truth. The truth is. And uh, in Marius Ghidel being Romanian, then he was founding the School of Love. And in this school of love, the main, let's say, sentence is what is not love. You are only love. What is not love is not you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes,
Yeah, it was an interruption. No, don't worry. Okay, then did you hear my question or about the?
yeah, yeah. I heard about it. What's good about in the School of Love? it's a school where we all share our own experience in life, where we can find God.
Okay.
So together, we actually, through mirroring each other and coming together to this, Marius gave us a very good tool to understand ourselves better and how we got programmed from childhood. And seeing all those programs that, like you said, you can identify very quickly what it's love and what it's not love.
Exactly.
But what's beautiful in it, Marius saying that even if something that it's not love itself, even though it's not you and it's your ego, you should also accept it because it's a way of transcendence and it's a way of coming to the love, to the real love.
Yes.
Not loving. So you have to manifest both actions that God decides to do it through different frequency, right? Because we can come to the understanding that, which is very important, that even God himself is the devil, right? So it doesn't separate from the devil. He's the creator of the devil,
Yes.
right? Which is inside of us.
Exactly.
We have to understand that the devil is not outside, or God is not outside. They're all, everything it happens inside of us. And when we say that, when we know that an action that we do, a devil action, we know the consequence of that action, that it's needed to do it in a certain time of our life, to do the opposite.
Exactly.
So nothing is wrong. It's just a way of experiencing life. Because if God didn't want to experience ego, he will not send us to a dualistic world. He will send us to heaven straight.
Okay, then
You know?
yes, exactly. And you're totally right. Then I was loving this kind of sentence, like when he said that what is not love is not you. Then it was very powerful. And Marius Ghidel, like a Romanian author with 9 books, and of course the international public will understand that these teachings are very powerful. We hope that everybody will hear about that, those teachings, and will learn something, will apply. And if you, we are simply the times come up, and I want to ask you, my friend, if you want to make a conclusion to conclude our meeting from today. And let's say that we had a kind of main introduction, like the ultimate introduction with Marius Ghidel's teaching. If you want to say some words in the, okay, yeah, you are inside. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I hear you. I can see you. You, if you can say in to conclude this meeting, if you say some words about this beautiful and smart and very prolific author, Marius Ghidel, Romanian author.
Marius Ghidel himself, he manifests like God himself. We all know that. We see it ourselves. And he shows us how to live a simple life without too much stress. It's very direct teachings. He doesn't have any expectations. This is the big thing about it. Yeah, it is a way of manifesting God, because when there's expectation, there's no love behind.
Exactly.
Like you just said, Valentin, very beautiful, that what is not love is not us.
Exactly.
Meaning that we have to act as much as we can as God. Since it's inside of us, to feel him, we have to always, to watch our actions in this world. You know.
Then my friend Marian, then let's say that I forgot to say, to mention that this Romanian prolific author who was writing like 9 books, and probably will be 3 more coming. Then the first book, Shangri-La, will be translated in English and will be available to the broad, like international, let's say,
international world.
World, yeah. Sorry. And being the first book, probably the people can say that okay, then this is powerful. I can understand. And yeah, the book is coming. It's in kind of let's say working right now on translation, but probably in a short time will appear in the international libraries, and we'll see how the people will relate with these teachings, and we hope lots of people will adhere to these teachings because they're very powerful and will simply change the world. And probably the shifting consciousness, like the quantum jumping, like quantum shift will be probably uh, these teachings will help a little bit, like to understand the new world is coming. And yeah, what I can say, I'm thank you very much for responding to my invitation, and for your beautiful let's say perspective about these teachings, Marius Ghidel teachings. And thank you very much for your explanations. Very powerful. I can't wait to see you next time to make a beautiful webinar again. And till next time, my friends, I wish you all the best, and God be with us everywhere.
Thank you, Valentin, and I
Have a good
appreciate
day.
your being a host today, and beautiful questions, and everything was a flow. So I appreciate your presence all the time
Yeah.
when you're with us. And I wanted to say that what makes the difference between Marius Ghidel teachings is the looking for God stops because you feel God. This is the main thing. What I realize since we're practicing his teachings is the search for God stops. There's no
Right.
more searching for God because we feel God now.
Yeah. Then we have the God
Yeah.
inside us. We don't need to look outside. We were finding God, and right now our searching is stopping, and we can feel a kind of peace. We feel that God is inside us, and we are very grateful. We are talking together on our group, that the School of Love. We can share the impressions. We can share the impressions about the teachings, about the books. I can't wait till this book appear, like Shangri-La. Then I repeat again, it's this prolific and beautiful writer, author, Marius Ghidel, Romanian author. Then, okay, my friend, then I wish you all the best and
Thank
good
you.
luck till
Thank you,
next time.
Valentin.
All the
Okay,
best.
all the
Cheers.
best.
Thank
Ciao.
you. Cheers.